Today I want to talk about strings, and let's at first let's just open a new file. And a string is composed of characters, and we're going to look at a character here. Let's just use 5. And we're going to use something called the ord function to get the ordinal value of a character. And so what this is going to do is it's going to look at a very small string, I guess one character of a string, a one character string, and tell us the ordinal value. So let's run this. It's going to ask us to save. Let's find a good name for it. Here we go. Okay. Oh, print is not defined. Oh. Have a upper lowercase issue, and Python is of course case sensitive. So let's run this again. Okay. We have 53. And what that is telling us is that this has the ordinal value of 53. So every character in this string has a value on it. Basically, if you were to picture it as a magic chart of characters, and its value is 53. In a little bit, I'm going to show you how to just print out from this chart. But right now, we're going to experiment a little more. So I copied that down, and kind of the opposite of the ord is the CHR or character. So if we know that the character 5 has a numeric ordinal value of 53 associated with it, we should be able to put that 53 into this other function and then print it. And this function is CHR, a character function. So let's run this. See if this works. And it does. So this character 5 has a numeric value associated with it of 53 in the Unicode ordinal value system. One way to see everything out there is we could use this this CHR function. So let's make a for loop, and let's make it to a range of 256. Okay, and we assign I. So I is going to start out with going up to 56. So let's print CHR and I. And so as what's going to happen in this little for loop, I is going to start out and it's going to slowly increment all the way up to 256, and I forgot some here. I have to give it a range, and I'm going to give it a range 256. So it's going to go for I in range of 256. So if we run this, it's pretty, whoa, we get a lot. So, okay, at the first of it, you can see this, and then you get in there and you go, oh, geez, this is getting, this is truly getting getting interesting. And you can see some of these crazy characters that, like if you might be on an online forum or play some sort of online game, a lot of the people like to dig up and throw as their handles. Let's do a little addition to this, because I think we want to actually let's actually print, see if we can print out I also. Okay. Okay, that's a little better. So now we can see what we get. We had this first part was this other, the 5 and the 50, 53, and 0 looks like a blank or unseeable character. You could probably find a chart out there on the internet that says the exact Unicode value. This is sometimes useful in coding. It lets you see all these special values, and gives you a way in Python to get at like a registered trademark. You might not be able to immediately knock that on your keyboard, but if you did this little trick with this little loop, you could go, oh, yeah, that's ordinal value of 174, or whatever else you're looking for. So just a very interesting and sometimes useful thing to know. So I'm gonna comment this out, just because once we start running some more things, that takes a fair amount of screen real estate, as you probably noticed. Okay, so we don't want to print that again. Well, let's look at some other aspects of strings. We looked at characters there, but we want to go into strings. We're going to work with something bigger, and we're going to define a string, and we're going to call the string or assign it "Hi Mom." Just really simple string assignment here to say "Hi Mom," and I'm going to want to print just a bit of it. So I'm going to print, and I'm going to go note. And the really cool thing about strings is I can print just whatever of these characters are in position, because it's broken down by character. So I'm going to find what's in position 1 and print it out here. And let me comment out this too. We're done with it. We don't need to mess with it. Let's run. Okay. So it says in position 1 we have I of the string "Hi Mom," which makes sense because, as you recall, strings start with position 0. So if position 1 is I, position 0 should be H. So let's go verify that. And it is. Now let's try something else. We're going to try something impossible to do with strings. We're going to, at the actual character level of that string, try to, which should, the position 4 should be the O. We're going to try to change it to A. And this is not going to work, but it's fun to try. Okay, so what has happened here is that it realized that we can't assign one of the characters in a string after the string has already been assigned, because a string is immutable. We can't change it once it's been assigned, but you could reassign it. We could reassign the whole string. We just cannot change the individual characters within that string. So we could say note equals hi dad or anything else, and it totally reassigns the string. But once it is assigned, we cannot touch the parts of the string. Okay, let's close that era and let's move on to something new. We're going to reassign the note, and we're going to say the sky is blue. And we're going to work some other really cool things you can do with it. So let's go note. And instead of just, finding, a particular character in that string, like let's say position 1 or position 0, we're going to grab a little bit more. So let's first comment these out. Just kind of help us do some separation. Okay. And we especially want to comment the one out that gives us an error. So let's run this. Okay. And what this did was gave us the first 3 characters of our string. Pretty handy. Let's try some other things. What if we try this? Interesting. Do a little more experimentation with that, and let's start this at 0, and we have the same as the first one. So if we were to do something like this, where we increment it even a little further, you would get this. Okay, let's throw that away, and let's just try to grab something out of there, like one particular thing. So let's go 4, 7. Let's run this, and we were able to grab sky out of there. Okay. Now, if we put a -1 on the right side of this here, and we run it, we basically have the string missing one from the right side. So let's check that out with a 2. So we throw in a 2, and we have the string slowly decreasing decreasing the right side, and we could go -3 and so on. So we're allowed to grab it from different positions. So let's do one last one of these, and this time let's do it on the left side, and let's go for -5. Okay. Oh, interesting. I should try to catch it a little more. So we have, I ended up in this case catching a blank also. Okay. Now let me just comment these out, and going to go over some here in a little bit. Another really cool thing you can do with strings. This thing, I actually never used it in a real world situation while programming Python for any reason, but I always thought it was neat, and I'm sure there someone can use this in a real world situation, because there's got to be situations you want this to do this. So let's just get a string, and we're just going to define our string right here. Go tick-tock like a clock. Okay, so you can go ×2 and print this out, and this is kind of neat. It goes tick-tock, tick-tock, and like you could increase that. So let's say 7. Oh, that's 7 tick-tocks. So really cool. Like I said, never used it in a real world situation, but it is one of the many features that Python has, and I'm sure there's really great real world situations to use this in. And because of all these little things, I'm going to show you some more things in a bit with strings. Really makes Python it is a comfortable language for people. People enjoy it. A lot of programming languages out there. People they're more rigid. They don't let you do these neat little quick things with strings, and because of that, when people have a choice to make a lot of the smaller programs, and they avoid these other languages, and they go to Python because it has a very powerful library of string manipulation. So okay, we're going to leave the tick-tock there, but let's say you have a big note. So we're going to make a big note, and this is just going to be huge. And if you put 3 single quotes anywhere, you could do kind of a neat thing with this. So let's say this big note, "Hi Mom, it is Bill. It's great to talk with you." Okay. And then I'm going to go to the next line. And I'm going to go, "Love your son Bill." I would put Mark. Kid has many, many names. Okay, so you can see how we skip usually, you know, everything's on one line. However, if you have a really big string and you use these triple single quotes, you can force it all into one string, even though we cross lines here. So let's do print, and we call this one big note. Okay, we see the tick-tocks we did, and then we see the giant string where we cross lines. I mean, we could actually, you know, maybe we could put it on the other line and put it with some return in it and stuff to, you know, force it to look like this. But a lot of times it's a lot easier if you're writing a paragraph, or you have some paragraph that needs to be displayed, to do it like this, because you're going multi lines, and it is what you put there. Really nice way to do it. Although it's confusing if you haven't encountered it before, just remember that you can go multi-line with the 3 single quotes.